It's can you hear me? Yeah, it's Mark here. Good morning. It's Mark here with another morning rant. Time on deck, 5 o'clock. Hey, check this out. I want to give credit where credit is due. Roland Martin, you look, Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show. You've got to watch this brother. He's a good reporter. He's about black issues. His thing is, he says he keeps it black, he keeps it real. So do not sleep on Roland Martin. I love watching his daily digital show, and I'm giving him credit for what I'm about to do. As a matter of fact, I'm showing some of the clips from his show as to how this thing failed. Okay, so let's get into it. Tim Scott, black senator from South Carolina, Republican. One, I think he's like the only black senator in the Senate, and he's from South Carolina, black guy from South Carolina, Republican. Okay, I saw this while I was going through my Monday show, and I'm like, I don't understand what he's talking about, so I'm not going to speak on it. So, and I didn't want to do the research on it because there was a lot of other pressing issues, and I just wanted to let it go. I'll get back to it or whatever. And I'm glad that I started to watch Roland's show because Roland laid it out for us. So here's what's going on with the George Floyd Justice Bill. They got Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey, and they got Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. They got a Democrat, Cory Booker, Republican Tim Scott. Two black people to try to fix policing in America, not to necessarily defund the police. When people say defund the police, they got it wrong. It's not about defunding the police. It's about putting the resources where the resources where they should go. In most cases, when people get arrested and things happen, they don't need a police officer. They need a health provider. They need a mental health person there. Now, I will admit to you that the police are important. Nobody's saying that the police are not important. It's just that you can be on a routine traffic stop and wind up dead. So what they were trying to do was ban chokeholds, ban no-knock warrants, because that can I remember her name? But that one woman that passed away, that got shot and killed in her own house, and then the police tried to get her ex-boyfriend to lie and say she was like a drug queen pin because they knocked on the wrong freaking house. So ban no-knock warrants, ban chokeholds, certain chokeholds, and do some other things, like don't make a tactical force out of the police departments, the local police departments. So they got Cory Booker and Tim Scott together, and I'm gonna let Roland help us out.
The George Floyd Justice Act is dead because Senator Tim Scott, Senator Cory Booker, as well as Congresswoman Karen Bass, they couldn't come to an agreement. Scott spent lots of time on the Sunday shows, Fox News, Face the Nation, blasting Democrats, saying it's their fault. They walked away. So here's what he said on Face the Nation.
I'm gonna go there.
Talking to Margaret Brennan, he was talking about who caused the problem. Who caused the problem? And it was interesting because we played this 2-minute clip yesterday, and the reason I thought it was very interesting as he was talking to them, because he was real clear. It was they were sitting here and they were trying to defund the police, and they were just wrong, and how dare they, and it was.
So yeah, so I'm gonna get to that. This is the whole thing. I'm not gonna play the whole 2-minute clip, but this is him. This is Tim Scott on Face the Nation with with Margaret Brennan, and he's talking about how the Democrats walked away. Should I play the whole 2-minute clip? No, I'm gonna just play the defund the police part.
This time,
to you with what he has described.
Now, hold on.
The Justice Act provided clear direction to improve the quality of the experience for the communities at risk and the law enforcement officers who patrol those areas.
So if you're still at the table, was the issue that you just couldn't deliver Republican votes?
Now, I want you to hear that part because I may come back to it.
Absolutely not.
What Senator
Absolutely.
Booker proposed to you with what he has described as this compromise.
Once again, the fact is that last time around we gave them 20 amendments to change the bill in any way they wanted to. This time we said simply this: I am not going to participate in reducing funding for the police after we saw major city after major city defund the police.
So there you go. He's saying he's not going to defund the police. Now, just like Roland Martin, this is Roland Martin. I went and pulled the clips because his production people, they need to get their stuff together. Here's Tim Scott a year ago. Roland is going to go here. Tim Scott a year ago talking about defunding the police.
Democrats' reaction. They are saying, yes, this is a move in the right direction, but the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said today that it doesn't rise to the moment. We heard House Speaker Nancy Pelosi say it's inadequate. Do you think you will be able to get enough Democratic votes to get this to a debate and a vote on the Senate floor?
Well, if we do not, then they'll have to explain to the families that I'm...
Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, and he joins us from
sorry.
the Capitol. Senator Scott, thank you so much for joining us. I want to ask you first about some of the Democrats' reaction. They are saying, yes, this is a move in the right direction, but the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said today that it doesn't rise to the moment. We heard House Speaker Nancy Pelosi say it's inadequate. Do you think you will be able to get enough Democratic votes to get this to a debate and a vote on the Senate floor?
Well, if we do not, then they'll have to explain to the families that I met with yesterday at the White House and the families that I met with yesterday in my office on why we're not willing to take seriously some of the changes that are important to those families who've lost loved ones.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It's right here.
You are saying these things should be tied to federal funding, that if departments go ahead with them, they risk losing funding. And yet you also said today that this is something that should be debated. The chokehold should be debated for the American people to hear. So it sounds like you're open to a complete ban on a chokehold. Is that right?
Well, I would say it this way. My legislation gets us to the position where if you are a law enforcement department that does not already have a ban on chokeholds, you do not have access to the federal funding.
Here we go. Now, my production need to get their stuff together. Here we go. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Here's him saying that he does not want to defund the police.
Yes, I am not going to participate in reducing funding for the police after we saw major...
I'm not gonna be a participant in defunding the police.
And yet you also said today that this is something that should be debated. The chokehold should be debated for the American people to hear. So it sounds like you're open to a complete ban on a chokehold. Is that right?
Well, I would say it this way. My legislation gets us to the position where if you are a law enforcement department that does not already have a ban on chokeholds, you do not have access to the federal funding.
There you go. So thank you, Roland Martin, because that is what his show was about. He was saying on Sunday that he's not going to be a part of defunding the police. And a year ago, he said that, that if your community or if your police precinct or if your police department, does not have a policy where the chokehold is banned or whatever provision that they need, that or certain training that they will defund you for particular. So there you go. I'm stuttering and stammering because I'm trying to prove a point. There you go. There you go. This man is talking out of both sides of his mouth. Now, Roland went further. Roland went further. Because he's hell-bent on saying that the Democrats walked away from the table. So let's go here.
See, so again, this is what happens when you lie.
Have you heard of not?
Come on, bruh. My production people need to get their shit together.
Today, this statement came out. Largest U.S. police group appears to counter Senator Tim Scott's argument that Democrats sought to defund police in reform negotiations. Two prominent police organizations, the International Association of Chiefs of Police and the Fraternal Order of Police, appeared to push back against Scott's argument in a statement Tuesday. Though the senator's name was not mentioned, quote, despite some media reports, at no point did any legislative draft propose, quote, defunding the police.
Thank you.
In fact, the legislation specifically provided additional funding to assist law enforcement agencies in training, agency accreditation, and data collection initiatives. These provisions would have helped strengthen law enforcement, improve community police engagement, quote, without compromising management and officers' rights, authorities, and legal protections. This, y'all, is the state.
So, two unions, the Chief of Police Union and the Police Union, both came out with a statement saying that Tim Scott is wrong. That Tim Scott is wrong. He is lying. Now, in Roland Martin said in his video that he is no friend of the police, the Federal Order of Police, or the chiefs unions. He is no friend of them. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So when you got the police unions coming out against what Tim Scott said on Sunday, calling him a liar for what he said on Sunday, you got to report it. Tim Scott is lying, and Roland Martin goes further. Just like Margaret Brennan said on Face the Nation, maybe you couldn't get the votes. And if you go watch Roland Martin's show, the whole 37-minute show, they talk about he couldn't get 8 votes. He couldn't get 8 votes. Roland Martin, I'm trying to get a man all the credit that I possibly can because this is his show. I'm just giving you guys the news as I see it from what he said. Roland Martin said that they went to Cory Booker, and because Tim Scott wasn't going to do it. He said, "Hey, Cory, Senator Booker, I want you to get the police unions involved." So Cory Booker went and got those 2 police unions involved, and then Roland Martin said that, hey, somehow it leaked. The deal leaked, and that pissed off some of the police unions. So how did the deal leak? And Cory Booker had everything lined up, and Democrats were ready to support it, but Tim Scott walked away from it because over something like defunding the police, when he agreed to defund the police just like the Democrats wanted to do a year ago. And then further that, they make the assumption Roland Martin is making the comparison that, okay, first of all, this is what the Republicans do. Republicans will sit there and placate you and placate you and placate you. They'll sit there. They will patronize you and patronize you and patronize you. They'll say, all right, well, let us come to the table. Let us agree on certain things, and then let's vote on it. So here you are compromising your ass off, and when it comes time to a vote, they still vote no. So you've wasted a month, 2 months, not a semester, but a session, a year, 2 years. You wasted all this time negotiating with the Republicans, and they still turn around and say no. And you wasted all this time. And that's what Cory Booker and Tim Scott was doing. Tim Scott was placating them and pushing them along. And he kept pushing the goalposts, because first of all, he could not get the Republican votes. No matter what they agreed to, he could not get the Republican votes. And number two, Roland Martin mentioned this, that maybe, just maybe, in 2024, when it's time for the GOP to go for re-election, election, and try to steal the White House from the Democrats, they're going to need a black person or a woman on the ticket. A couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, I was saying this during Trump's administration, especially around the time that I think about last year, roughly last year, before I moved down to Montgomery. I was telling a coworker, I said, hey, I'm telling you right now, man, that I don't care who the nominee is. I don't care who the nominee is on the Democrat side. The person better be a woman. The vice president, if Kamala Harris or some other female Democrat did not get the nomination to be president, they're going to have to choose a female to be vice president. Joe Biden and whoever else on that stage, they would have to choose a female to be the vice president, because it is the year of the woman. I'm telling you, it's the year of the woman, and you will not win. Now, of course, Donald Trump had Mike Pence as his vice president, so he could have changed them. They used to do it all the time, but it would have been politically wrong to do it now. But he could have changed them out and put a woman. But he had Mike Pence. But the Democrats, they needed to put a female, white, black, or indifferent. They need to put a female on that VP ticket. And that's what they did with Kamala Harris. So in 2024, you are going to need a person of color, Latino, Puerto Rican, whatever, Asian. You're going to need a someone on the Republican side. In the Republican side, they don't have that many black people that they can support. They don't have that many black people that they can put in the VP slot. Other than who? The only GOP black senator in the Senate, Tim Scott. So maybe, just maybe, he is trying to position himself to be the VP nominee on the Republican ticket in 2024. No matter who runs on the Republican side, he is not going to run for president. So that's the assumption, that he is running away from this. And again, Roland Martin said it. They filmed that show on Saturday, and they played portions of it to preview it so you can watch the full interview on Sunday. So the lie went around the world first before the truth came out on Tuesday. Tim Scott is lying. The Republican Party pushed the goalpost back, and they kept pushing it back, because they did not want the reforms. They did not want the George Floyd Policing Reform Act to be done. They wanted to placate the Democrats and get them to waste time. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Appreciate it. So there you go, people. Democrats are trying. It's the Republican Party that's hindering everything. So let me get up out of here. Tim Scott, you're a hypocrite. GOP, you're a hypocrite. The George Floyd bill is dead for right now. So there you go. No police reform. You cannot fault the Democrats for this one. All right. Let me get up out of here, people. You guys have a great, what is today? Today's Thursday. Have a great Thursday, people. Hope you had a great week. Hope you continue to have a great week. And I will see you guys on the next one, all right? All right. I'm out. Y'all take care.